played my share of video games. Some are good, some are bad. Some are so incredible that when I engage in them, they change my sense of being. Others are so brain-meltingly terrible that even just thinking about them makes me want to punch an infant. Then there are the ones that are colored by nostalgia. Games best enjoyed for a memory, though they might not be as wonderful as they seemed years ago. The flash may have faded and the gameplay might seem dated, but there's still something about them that makes them worth the trip. For me, Golden Axe is that sort of game. I had forgotten about it for ages, but then my good memories of it called to me and insisted that I should review it. But does it stand the test of time? One way to find out. For anyone not familiar with it, Golden Axe began as an arcade beat-em-up published by Sega back in 1989. The people enjoyed it, and it was ported to a slew of different platforms from DOS to the WonderSwan Color. And of course the Sega Genesis, the version I'm playing right here. The Genesis version actually has some features the arcade game doesn't. For one thing, there's the options mode where you can customize your controls, set how much health you get per life, and since I'm only so-so at this game, I need all the help I can get. And this is the fun part, listen to all the music and sound effects from the game. Sometimes I like to hang out here instead of playing. Next there's the Duel, an excellent place to polish your skull-bashing skills. Your goal is to survive as many rounds as you can with a limited amount of health. At the end you're given a ranking. Not bad. Finally, there's Beginner Mode, which is basically a dumbed-down version of the game. It's only 3 stages long, magic use consumes less power, and the enemies are weaker. Oh, and just in case you were in any danger of feeling accomplished for beating it, at the end it thoughtfully reminds you to play the real game when you're done screwing around. Now we've reached the main event, Arcade Mode. Here you pick your character, read what passes for the game's plot, and let the bloodshed begin! Same as in the beginner and duel modes, you can be this knockoff of Conan the Barbarian, this knockoff of Red Sonja, or this dwarf that nobody picks anyway. Your objective? Hunt down and defeat Death Adder, the obviously evil tyrant who has captured the king and the princess, of course, and taken over the land. Oh, and just in case you need a more personal excuse, he's also killed off a friend of yours named Alex, and/or possibly some family member or loved one or something. It's all there in the manual and depends on who you choose. Once you've selected your character, you can fight Death Adder's henchpersons using your weapon, some limited melee skills, and some very handy magic that's best reserved for bosses. Red Sonja has the strongest magic, but it also takes the most refills to power up. Conan is pretty well balanced, and I seem to play best as him. The only real drawback is the drama-killing nature of his girly death scream. And the dwarf? Well, no one picks the dwarf, so it doesn't make much of a difference. But no matter who you choose, you'll probably end up wanting to kill these annoying little elf things that carry your magic refills. Yes, they serve a purpose. Yes, they're supposed to be cute. But that doesn't stop them from being the most irritating helpers this side of the dog from Duck Hunt. I have to say, as I went on, I was a little disappointed. I mean, it's not a bad game, not at all. It's just that it wasn't quite as shiny perfect as I remembered. Nonetheless, I pressed on, gentle viewers. Not just for me, but for you. My first issue was that the hitboxes are a little too precise. There were several times when a strike that seemed like it should have connected ended up hitting the air. Naturally, the enemies didn't have this problem nearly as often. Then there's how the scrolling works. There's this odd point at the far left and right where an unseen or half-seen foe can easily hit you, but it's harder to hit them. Think you've got him cornered? You might have to think again. It looks like it's safest to stay towards the middle of the screen. Or at least it would be if your enemies weren't drawn to you like my pet cat to loose paper. For me, the most reliable way to keep from getting caught in a pincer attack is jumping and striking, which has the unfortunate side effect of making the game feel a little monotonous. A more enjoyable option is to recruit a second player. That way, if one of you gets stuck, the other can come to the rescue. Oh, and just to warn you, there's also an odd quirk in how lives and continues are counted. With most games, it ends at 0. In this game, it ends at 1. If you're not expecting that, it's a very unpleasant surprise. Still, there was something about this game that made me want to keep playing. A mixture of my good memories and the adventuresome atmosphere. And as I continued my quest, I was treated to such exotic locales as the Turtle Village, located on the back of a giant turtle, and this place, which for some reason is on the back of a giant eagle that conveniently deposits us in Death Adder's front yard. Which means that both of these ginormous animals were willing and able to sit around for years while people build stuff on them. And neither our intrepid heroes nor the dastardly villains were blown off, thrown off, or even unsteadied while the turtle was walking, or even stranger, when the eagle took flight. Somewhere, a zoologist is crying. But hey, lots of games have ridiculous plot points, so I just enjoyed all the hacking and slashing until I had finally stormed the gates of Death Adder's stronghold. Oh yeah, this was it. The moment I'd been waiting for all the turmoil I'd been through and all the games prematurely ended by limited continues, I finally received my reward. Finding out that I still had one more boss to go. Wait, what? What you just saw there is pretty much what it looks like. In the instruction manual, it tells you the Death Adder is the ultimate evil, just like in the arcade. In the game, up to that point, it tells you Death Adder is the ultimate evil, just like in the arcade. And when you finally reach Death Adder, and after you defeat him, the game sucker punches you and laughs in your general direction. Yay. Oh, and, yeah, it's not just an extra boss, it's a whole extra stage, which I had completely forgotten about in all my years of not playing. And might I mention again that the game has limited continues? Oh yeah, by this point I was just about ready to tell Sega that they could take this game and... But aren't I a gamer? Of course I am, and I would not be defeated! I played and replayed this game until I knew that victory was mine! Oh, and incidentally, the best way to deal with this... happy, fun bonus stage is to lead your enemies off cliffs whenever possible. You'll save yourself some lives that way as well as some aggravation. Finally, we've reached Deathbringer, the man behind the man. How and why he got there without anybody hearing of him is anybody's guess. He's basically a palette-swapped, magic-happy version of Death Adder with 2 irritating skeleton guards that follow you wherever you go. You can't kill them either, so just try to keep them off of you while focusing on the boss. Beating Deathbringer was satisfying, but I have to be honest with you. The ending kind of bites. Still, if you must have a taste of it, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Genesis version of Golden Axe isn't as great as I remember, but it's still a good way to kill time. The graphics are great for its era, I still adore the sound, and although the gameplay is a bit flawed, it is at least adequate. Still, I feel kind of bad about that crappy ending. So, I'll leave you with this alternative version of how things could have gone. Screw that. I'm doing this No More Heroes style.